Hello GATOR and welcome. Thank you very much for taking some time to talk to the Overwatch French community.
Thank you for having me.
There are so many things I want to talk about with you today. Your great OWL 2021 season with Atlanta Reign, next season as well with Overwatch 2, new game and a lot of question marks. But GATOR, first of all, my last guess was SPACE, with whom you have some common points. You're both American. You are as well two OWL leading figures, and you both have decided to stay with the same team for next season. For him, it's going to be LA Gladiators, and for you, it's going to be Atlanta Reign. First, a word about your loyalty to Atlanta. 2022 will be your fourth season with the team. Is it something important for you to commit in a long-term project?
Yeah, for me, I guess technically I'm the last player from the original roster, and to me, it's just like a long-term culture that's been built here that I just like being a part of. Like, there's been many times where I thought over the course of like the 4 years, I was gonna resign with someone. I was gonna resign with someone else. I was gonna get traded or sold or something, And it's just like every time I just end up back here, and every time I've never regretted it, regardless of like the opportunities that were elsewhere. So yeah, I'd say I have loyalties here. Like, I like all the people here. It's like a really good organization, like from top down. So yeah, I'd say I have loyalties here for sure.
I've never wanted to play for another team?
Um, I'm someone who likes, like, I really enjoy new experiences and like meeting new people and just feeling like different cultures and environments. So I have because of that. But like, as far as just a personal fit, I feel like I will just always will fit the best with this team in this environment.
And have you ever had in your OWL career maybe proposals from other teams?
Yeah, I've had a lot of like enticing offers, I'd say, or just like opportunities elsewhere. Um, just with players I know, or whether it's like more money or whatever, it's just to me, like, all that just doesn't really matter compared to my personal happiness, I'd say, being on this team and this org. So I would just say I've thought about it many times, and I feel like every time I've thought about it, I just feel like the grass isn't greener elsewhere. So I feel like I always just end up staying here.
Yeah, good for you and good for Atlanta. And seen from the outside, Atlanta Reign looks quite fun to play for. I mean, with a good atmosphere, you said it. Is that the reality? I mean?
Yeah, I would like to say we have like the best culture, or one of the best cultures in the league for sure. I feel like we do a lot of things right, and it's an atmosphere to where if you get the right people and the right staff and the right people from like the top down, that you can actually have players just really grow, and teams that can just kind of just grow throughout the course of the season. And I think that's kind of really what's just been happening here for a while now.
What's the most important for you to feel good in a team?
I think there has to be like open communication. I mean, obviously just team environment overall, but then like it's really good to have just an open communication structure within everybody, and everybody feels like they have a voice. Like nobody feels like they're being left out, or their opinions aren't, just like taken by everyone. So I'd say like just like a good communication to where at the end of the day, like there's so many ways to play Overwatch, and I wouldn't say there's one right way. So just having everybody give their opinions and then find the best option for your team, and then get everybody on the same page for that option is just really important. And that also creates good environments, and everyone's having fun and everyone's on the same page, to where if you lose, like, you're losing together, and nobody feels like, damn, we should have done this or that. It's just kind of like, that's what we've agreed upon. And if you take a loss, and it's just like, we'll go next time. We were wrong as a whole and a unit. And like, I think our staff does a really good job of like letting players like voices be heard, which is really nice.
Yeah, we're gonna go deeper into that, but later. So I was saying earlier that, like SPACE, you are one of the leading figures in OWL, someone who talks and someone who makes people talk as well. How would you define your communication? Do you pay close attention to it, or when you have something to say, you just say it?
I would say when I have something to say, I always say it. I'm pretty quite vocal in every one of my opinions. I have no problem giving opinions, but I also don't have a problem being wrong. So I give my opinion and I like wait to be proven wrong, and then when I'm proven wrong, it's cool. And if not, then we will generally kind of like, you know, converse between each other and decide like amongst us ourselves like what we should be doing. And I never want to be like, damn, I should have spoken up and said this idea. You know, like I kind of lay it out there, and the team or the coaches like use my ideas or thoughts for their like, you know, their gain. They'll take what they want from me. So.
Yeah, I was talking maybe about the social network. You know, when
Oh, so
sometimes on Twitter
yeah,
you want to say
yeah.
something,
Oh
even
yeah,
if
for sure.
it's not like you
Uh,
know.
yeah, I definitely on the socials, I definitely say what's on my mind. I don't I try to I don't spend too much time on social media. But yeah, I have no problem sharing my opinions or thoughts on just what's being done with the league or formatting or the game. Um, I feel like it's good for people to share their opinions in that aspect, because if I was a developer, I would want to know like what people's thoughts are. You know, like I feel like it does. I feel like with like ego aside, like it does help your job a little bit if you can, you know, just take like people's opinions and stuff. Even if like 80% of them are just awful ideas or opinions, like there has to be at least 20% of them that are good ideas or opinions that you should, you know, sift through and figure out which ones are good. So I throw out my ideas on there, and I'd hope that like at least a couple of them stick. You know, are like very very good opinions or ideas. I know sometimes people get a little upset at what I have to say, but it's like at the end of the day, like I'm always gonna stick up for my team and like what's best for us. So if I feel like we've been done wrong in any way, I'm definitely gonna say it.
You've never received a call from the organization or the
Yeah,
OWL. Maybe John Spector
rec-
called you and say, "Gator,
I've
please next
received
time."
yeah, I've received many times over the years, different stuff for sure. Whether it's from like someone in our org that received something and they're like, hey, like they aren't like too upset, but just like, you know, chill it out or something. Like, and then to me, that's just like, I think that's just a bit of they're being a little fragile.
Mm.
Because at the end of the day, it's not like I'm just a player. Like, you can't take my opinion too seriously. And sometimes I think it's important that people share their thoughts. So I never delete anything or go back on it. I just unless I'm just straight up wrong. But for the most part, I stand by what my opinions and statements are on like various topics that goes on. So
Do you sometimes do it for the show, or do you do it because you like it?
uh okay, sometimes I'll do it. I'll do it a little bit just for it's kind of like I feel like they kind of like did something that I didn't like. They made a bad decision. And yeah, sometimes I'll ruffle their feathers a little bit just out of just for fun a little bit. But for the most part, I generally do just try to keep it like useful, not just like messing with them, you know? Like I try to like at least like make my statements productive or different ideas I have, so
Yeah, it's always for the best. And
yeah.
talking about playing character and stuff like this, Atlanta has the reputation for trolling a bit its opponents from time to time.
Mhm.
For you, is it good for the show, or is it part of the Atlanta identity?
I would say I actually say it's part of the Atlanta identity at this point. Um, I don't think it's not something that's like when the cameras are on type situation. It's like a 24/7 thing, and we just don't change at all, no matter what. Like in a sense, we don't really. I wouldn't say we really put a show on or anything. We're There's a lot of characters on our team, and I would say we're generally the same no matter what for the most part. So I would say it's just honestly just identity thing. Like we just like just mess it around.
And who's the one in the team who has the most this trolling mindset?
Um, I'd say it depends by the day. Uh, but a good bit of everyone enjoys a good troll. There's a lot of trolling and baiting and just messing around that goes on. So I'd say it really just depends on the day. Uh, Yeah, definitely depends on the day, I'd say.
All right, you don't have any names.
Uh, I'd say lately Kai's been probably the number one
No
lately.
way.
He's been going hard on the trolling and baiting.
Really?
Yeah, he's been
He
going
looks
pretty good
like
on that.
a shy guy.
Yeah, he is a shy guy in a sense, but he's a good troller too. He's a real good troller.
All right. Did he have the ID to, troll Spitfire? Because I remember a game against London Spitfire where you took your time to capture King's Row first point.
Yeah, that was like me, Hawk, like Masa kinda. Pretty much everyone besides our Koreans wanted to do it, and our Korean players just didn't want to do it, mainly just because it's like a bit of a cultural thing, and they don't like BMing at all, right? They think it's like they think it's like actually like serious, but even though we're just like laughing while we're doing, just trolling, like just messing around, like I'd say everyone besides them kind of in a sense. And then I remember Masa typed the "It's not coming home" or something, so that was a good troll. It was just like a stupid troll thing, but I mean, it's like the game was over anyway, so it was
Yeah.
just messing around.
Yeah, and that was a way as well to talk about the game because I remember it was a quick 3-0 and
Yeah.
But do you understand that some people were quite upset about
Oh
that
yeah. Oh yeah,
saying
for sure.
oh, Atlanta doesn't respect his opponent?
Yeah. Yeah. I got a lot of ats and messages actually about that. People were really upset over that. And I mean, rightfully so. I get it. Like, if you're a fan of the team, like you don't like seeing your like team getting like, in a sense, like it is kind of disrespectful in a sense. So I'm not going to deny that, but it's just like in a league format, sometimes it's hard not to just like have fun with it in a sense. So we definitely were just having fun. Like they were having, I think it was like a rough stage for them. So it was a pretty easy game for us. Like they were going through like a rough stage. So we were just like, oh, let's just mess around because of the Euro Cup and stuff was going on. And it was just like it was some good fun, just some good banter and stuff. So, yeah, it was funny.
So you don't mind if next season someone teabag you or do the
No,
same?
I actually, every time somebody teabags me, I laugh. So like, it's actually
Okay.
so funny to me. I actually wish I wish there was like a thing where it's just like teabag Gator like 24/7. It's just like a thing where anyone that plays me just bags me and just BMs me because I actually think it's so funny. Like I I can't take myself that serious enough to like be upset over it. So I actually always enjoy every time I get bagged. I always laugh. It's so funny.
GATOR, on a more seriously part, how do you define your role with Atlanta Reign? Are you the team leader, the captain? You said it, you're the oldest member of the team.
Yeah, I'm the oldest member, and I guess I would say I'm like the team captain in a sense. Like, I think we have a good atmosphere to where there's no like like someone has more say than the next. So there's no like one person that's just like trying to like dictate situations or anything or like. So yeah, I'd say I am, but at the same time, like I'd say we're like a full-on democracy in a sense, you know?
And what's a good captain for you? It comes with responsibilities.
Yeah, I'd say it comes with, I would say the biggest thing is probably keeping yourself and everyone else accountable. That's like a big thing in Overwatch League. Just like accountability. Uh, Players slack off, players stop playing, players don't give effort. It's really easy to tell. So you really need people just to give effort and be on the same page. And there's like 100 different ways of giving effort, and you just gotta like give it when it's needed. And then also like speaking up and saying things that need to be said when they need to be said. So you can't stay silent, and you have to give a lot of effort, I'd say.
And do you feel sometime maybe to be the big brother of the team?
Yeah, I'd say so for sure. I definitely watch out for the younger guys for sure. They have a little bit less like honestly just life experience in general. Some of them they have a hard time handling pressure and stress. I think it's one of the biggest parts of ours. Like if players manage stress and being overwhelmed and stuff good, then that helps them not get stuck in like ruts and um, like slumps. So uh, yeah, just like keeping players from just having like bad weeks or bad stuff helps a lot for like growth and team growth. It really only takes one. Honestly just only takes one guy just having like a bad week to have a bad week of scrims. So it's just really keeping everybody like motivated and just like eyeing the prize, I guess you could say.
But you're still young as well. So is it something you've been working on to become that kind of big brother, that leader for the team, or is it something you're born with?
I would say both. Like, I'd say naturally, like, watch out for a lot of the younger guys and stuff. I like watching out for them when I can, and yeah, I would say I've taken on like the role too in a sense. Just try to like read the situations, right? If some guys are having a bad day, it's you let them be, and like we have like a good thing where like if we ever have a bad day of scrims or a bad block or something, like we never really freak out over it. Like a lot of teams will just like mental boom, or they'll become like toxic environments. We just kind of like like accept it for what it is, like it is what it is, and then feels like people will just kind of give a little more extra effort going into like the next day or the next week. And that's like an accountability thing that people, like all the players, just are there for the same reason. So it's good. It's like a good thing we got going on.
GATOR, if you have to do a self-portrait of yourself, what would you say as a player and as a person? You can start as a player or as a person, whatever.
As a person, I would say I'm really easygoing, and I kind of just like go with the flow for the most part. And as a player and a teammate, I would say I'm pretty easygoing, but I would actually say I'm a little bit more, I guess, outgoing in a sense, to where I try to keep myself and everyone focused on end goals and working towards like an objective, which is just constant improvement and everybody being on the same page and thinking alike, so that when you get a bunch of different situations, everyone tends to think the same rather than everyone else is like having different ideas.
You sometimes looks like a funny guy, but in reality, in scrims and during your pro career, I mean, you're very focused and you have a high expectation about yourself and the other in the team.
Yeah, but I'd also say for sure, like I would say number two would definitely be just having fun.
Okay.
Like other ones first, but then I'd say number two is having fun just in general. Like I actually join, like I tell people this, I'll tell people I joined Al just to have a good time and like have fun, which is true in a sense. I really did. Like it's a fun experience, and it's fun if you make it fun, and if you get on the right teams, it's fun. So I've had a good time, and that's definitely like one of my top things is just having a good time, I'd say for sure. Every day when I go to scrims, like I would say I am there to have a good time. I'm not gonna lie. Like I actually do thoroughly enjoy playing in scrims and practice and working towards something as a team. So yeah, I'd say that too.
So you're an happy pro player.
Yeah, actually I'd say so. Yeah, that's fair.
So talking about fun, GATOR, you've been playing for Atlanta Reign for 3 years now, and even more with the academy team. But before that, you played for another team, a team named GOATs, famous for being one of the first team to play triple tanks, triple support. A composition play for really long time after that. How do you feel to be partly responsible for that, GATOR?
I think it's cool to like be like one of like the first like teams and players to like adopt that play style. I think it was cool what we did. That goats team we had, it was just a group of friends. Reiner is on. He was the break player in that team.
Yeah.
He's on Glads now as a main tank. Like he was actually definitely like the best break in the world at the time. So he's like a really good, smart, aggressive player. So like we had a good play style to where like other teams are kind of playing stuff similar and stuff around it, but like we kind of figured out that like if you actually just like turn your brain off and run it down mid with good mechanics, that you should actually beat any comp without like any like losses. So yeah, it was like a really fun time, and it was really cool to like help like make that meta, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Personally, I was a big fan of GOAT's meta. Do you miss it? Because now it's impossible with
I
the
actually do miss
2-2-2.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually do miss it. I thought it was a really fun meta. The problem with the GOATS meta is that well, there's 20 teams in the league. I would say about the top 5 teams were the good GOATS teams, and the other 15 weren't. And the other 15 were just simply significantly worse at the comp. They would never beat the top 5. They were never going to. They just simply never understood it. Then their players are simply worse at the heroes. And it was such a hard meta to where it was like you play that or you lose too. So there wasn't even like varying playstyles or like comps that you could pick. So it was just like it was a comp that was really fun if you're good at it and you're winning, and it was a comp that was it really sucked to play if your team was bad at it and lost, right? Because you felt like, oh, this is like no, not a skilled meta or whatever. But as you could see, like after that meta was over, it was the same teams that were good. It was just people just had a lot to complain about. But to be fair, I get it. Like I understand, but I do miss it. I wish there was like I almost wish there was like 3-month like rotations or something to where it was like 3-3 meta, but yeah, we won't see that anymore. That was just such a fun meta to play, and like yeah, it was really fun.
And a fun meta to watch. Would you say that
Yep.
GOATs changed the way we play Overwatch, or would you say that it broke the game?
I think it made the level of Overwatch significantly higher, actually. I don't think it broke the game at all. I actually just think it made people think. It was such a long meta to where it really people got so like deep into it that it was the 3-3 meta. It was the same 6 heroes, but it was just like an ever evolving meta of different ways to play it and how to play it. And it was just like every day you'd show up to scrims, and if you're playing the top teams, it was like they're doing something different every day. It was just like, wow, I've never seen that before. And it was like, oh, well, let's do this to counter it. And the next day they show up, counter your counter, right? So it's just like, and then on top of that, like just all the teamwork, and like people really understood how important ults were and tempo. And there was just like a lot. Honestly think that meta really, really, really made people understand different aspects of Overwatch than they really did not understand before.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. After GOATs, you played for Atlanta Academy. You won NA Contenders. You were a Gauntlet finalist against Element Mystic with Sparkle, Doha, Hanbin, Gauntlet, which was the best tier 2 competition. What memories do you keep in mind about that?
Some of the best memories I have were that Academy team just scrimming Overwatch League teams for an entire season.
Not only Atlanta, other teams as well.
Yeah, other Al teams as well. We did really well, and then I mean, because it was a team of it technically had 3 Al players. It had 3 Al players and then 3 underage players, so it was like a really good contenders team. And then yeah, going to Korea, I didn't think I was actually going to be able to play, and then we actually found a sub to play, but luckily they let me actually go back and play after playing in season 2 playoffs. They let me go play in the Gauntlet, which was really cool. So I went to play Overwatch League playoffs. That's when we beat Shock, and then like a week later, I was waiting to see if my season was over or if I was allowed to go to Korea to play. And then so they decided to let me play, and then we went to Korea, which is really awesome experience. Like playing those glass booths are really really cool. It's like just like a different like culture there of just like just how it's like everything's set up. It's crazy. It's really cool. And then just like my biggest probably memory of that team was just beating Runaway 4-0 because for the past like year and a half, people just always thought, like, oh, this Atlanta Academy team, they're like, they're good, but they would get stomped by Runaway, who'd been dominating over there for a while now. And it was a really good team. The whole entire team, even their like bench players went to Al. We remember going to Korea, literally saying that like that's like we are literally there just to beat Runaway. Like we are there to like destroy them. That's what we showed up there to do. Granted, Element Mystic did really well. They kind of rose up in that meta, which was good for them. But we were really there to beat Runaway, and then we ran the losers bracket and we forward Runaway. And I'd say that was probably the highlight of that team.
And after that experience, would you like to, experience 1 year in playing for a Korean team or in the East region?
I'd actually thought about that before. And that is something I'd be interested in, but it's not something I would go out of my way to make happen. Um, I know it sounds bad, but it's significantly more work. It's like when a Korean player joins a mixed roster, and I saw like how our Koreans, how much harder they have to work. A lot of times they have to just the effort level they have to put in to learn English, do English lessons like 2, 3 times a week. And then also daily, their mind is like scrambling to get out what they want to say. So their brain is just working to overdrive, just trying to think of the words to say. So yeah, it's something I thought about, but it's not something I've like pursued at all. Because
Uh,
I do think it'd be a really cool experience.
for sure. And where do you live right now? Because with Atlanta, you're living in Atlanta?
Yeah, we're all living in Atlanta right now. Everyone has their own apartments, and then our facility is literally like a 3-minute walk down the street. It's like right down the street. It's real nice, like brand new, all set up. Everything's perfect with it. It's really nice.
And where are
So
you from in US?
I'm from Florida, but I live in Nashville right now. That's where my family lives. Pretty close to Atlanta most of my life, actually, within like 6-hour drive.
Okay, so you don't have to wait like a year or something like this to spend some time with your friends or family.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy to go back home if I need to for like a few days at a time. It's no long haul or anything, which is
Oh.
actually really nice.